Hey, fourth graders. This is Miss Thomas. We're going to do a very quick sort of a scan through this chapter on the West. It's a van and airplane tour of the West, and you can see that there's a highway through the Rocky Mountains, and you can see a map that shows the West and the 11 states in it. So some of the states in the West are, let's see, can you see? Yes. Okay, so you have Oregon, Idaho, Montana, Wyoming, Colorado, Utah, Nevada, California, Alaska, and Hawaii. I'm going to through those again. You have Oregon, Washington. I forgot Washington. Washington, Oregon, Idaho, Montana, Wyoming, Colorado, Utah, Nevada, California, Alaska, and Hawaii. So that's important. And then you can see all these interstate highways that go through the West. The West is so big that you do need to drive a lot of places and fly. If you're going to go to Alaska or Hawaii, you need to fly. So it's very spread out. There are a lot of states. It's very different. Like each state is very different than not each one, but there's a lot of variety in the climate and cultures of the states. So here's a stop on Lolo Pass, Montana, a stop on the Lewis and Clark Trail. Basically, Lewis and Clark were two explorers who went and explored more than half of the country in 1805. So they were part of an expedition. An expedition is a journey with a purpose. And they went through a route across the mountains called a pass. That's Lolo Pass. So they're very brave and really interesting to study about Lewis and Clark. We're not going to go into them now, but that they're very interesting as a future study point. So this is Wyoming's Yellowstone National Park, which has a geyser called Old Faithful, very famous geyser. A geyser is a spring that throws jets of heated water and steam into the air. And so Yellowstone National Park was created to protect the geysers, like Old Faithful, and land from development. And this was the birth of the U.S. National Park System. And it's really, you should know that people come from all over the world to see the national parks in the United States. It's really one of our main tourist attractions is people come to the West and the Southwest to see like the Grand Canyon. So this picture is of Leadville, Colorado, and it shows a mine. Leadville, Colorado, the West's richest silver mining town. Leadville was once a booming mining town. This wooden entrance leads to a mine under a hillside. So another really important thing you should know about the West is that people often associate it with gold and people sort of going there in order to get rich. People think of Texas and the Southwest as oil, but mining and gold is one of the big, sort of resources in the West. So sunny South California's movie industry. So a lot of you watch a lot of TV, and a lot of the shows and movies you watch are filmed in California. And California, the reason for that is that it has such great sunshine and great lighting and also great weather. It doesn't rain that much. So filming movies became very popular, and then it attracted lots of actors, directors, producers, and such. So California is very famous for its movie industry, and you can see a picture of that here of filming a movie. California's Central Valley is called America's salad bowl. So if you eat fruits and vegetables, it's likely that some of them have come from California. And the use of technology, particularly farming technology, is very important in California because they harvest so many of the crops for our country and really for the world. So the Columbia River Gorge National Scenic Area, a gorge is a deep, narrow valley. The Columbia River created this beautiful gorge with steep valley walls, and the river is a source of transportation and electrical power for the people of Oregon and Washington. So they harness that power. This is an interesting graph with the salmon population in California, the Columbia River, going down over time. So since 1850, the number of salmon in the Columbia River has dropped sharply. You'll find out during our stop at the gorge, it says. So basically, the reason that for the salmon population decreasing is because there's so many people. The people sort of pushed out the salmon, and the water use for the people precluded the salmon surviving. This is the forests of Tacoma, Washington. You can see a lot of lumber there. So lumber is one of the resources that comes from Washington State, one of the main resources. Um, Anchorage, Alaska, starting point of the Iditarod Trail. So you need to fly in order to get to and from Alaska because it's so far away. And this is Anchorage, Alaska. You can see a dog sled race there. It's the Iditarod Trail. It's a very famous dog sledding race. The Iditarod runs between Anchorage, Alaska and Nome, Alaska, and it runs every year. This is Honolulu, Hawaii, a tourist paradise. People come from all over the world because it's just so beautiful. And here's Waikiki Beach. And here's Hawaii and the sugarcane fields on Hawaii. Sugarcane used to be the biggest resource that Hawaii grew and offered. And now it's really tourism because people come for its beauty and its sunshine and great climate. So we began high in the Rocky Mountains and ended up on Waikiki Beach. We actually saw 8 states just now. The questions are what first attracted people to the West and why are people still coming here? So you heard of, I went through quickly, but think about that again. What first attracted people to the West and why are people still coming here? People first came to the West in search of adventure, opportunity, and sunshine. So the opportunity was things like gold and silver mining. The West had beautiful places to explore in the past. It had valuable natural resources such as gold, silver, oil, and lumber. And it had a climate that attracted farmers and movie makers. People still come to the West for adventure, opportunity, and sunshine. The adventures have changed, however. We now hike and ski in the region where Lewis and Clark once almost starved. The opportunities have changed too. Today there are many jobs in the tourism and entertainment industries. I hope you had fun on this very quick tour of the West. Aloha!